My Hero Academia is the king of the highs and the lows when it comes in anime. When it's on its high, it's higher than Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. But when it's low, holy hell, it's lower than any respect I got for a rat. In the lead up to this battle, we finally get to see the good guys versus the bad guys. We finally get the all-out main characters in one arena for the final battle. Just like the NBA Finals, we are finally ready for the large event. All the heavy hitters are there. Deku, Shigaraki, All For One For All, Bestis Jinso, Hawks, Dabi, Icy Hot, Endeavor, and the rest of the crew. We know that this is the 7 seasons of build-up, so they can't drop the ball here. It's simply impossible. The master plan seems to be an ever-ending Tamagotchi game style move where they are playing so far in the future that they're letting us see it all slowly but surely work out. So let's jump straight into it. They slow it down a little bit, which is a different vibe for My Hero / My Villain Academia, but the episodes are set up where large events are happening. Then they come back with some hindsight to catch up everybody on some things in case they miss it. The big plan with All Might and other few of the leaders is to capture the villains, as many as possible, but keep them separated. So what they're trying to do here is divide and conquer. Now we know Deku, Kacchan, Icy Hot, and Endeavor, they're all going to lead the charge in this battle. They set this up very well. However, it's kind of cheap because, as we all know, there's a quirk for everything. Well, like I've said in previous reviews, My Hero Academia likes to crutch on that. And they do this by finding some lame hero with a quirk that is essentially their version of Doctor Strange. It's kind of funny. I mean, the quirks are never ending, so of course they bring someone around who is not important, who he's never been mentioned before, and they do that to fill the void. Oh well. On the positive side, we get the return of Shinzo, who's a standout character himself, and we know that the Class 1A is hyped to see him. Now, Shinzo, he came out in, I believe, Season 4. Really cool. He's kind of a loner. He was somebody who got added to Class 1A. He's cool. To top out Season 7, Episode 6, they do a little thing where the villains get separated, but of course, something goes awry, and Deku, who's supposed to be part of Shigaraki's battle squad, he gets swapped. Now, on the villain side, we do have Shigaraki and One For All. These two are the best villains in My Hero Academia. And obviously, we finally get to hear the confirmation that Shigaraki has passed up One For All as the strongest villain. And this isn't to be missed because the almighty All Might is the one who says it. The geniuses at UA also find out that after the death of the Captain American lady, we find out a complete way to encapsulate Shigaraki in what they call the floating coffin. Now, My Hero Academia does do some cool stuff, and the name of that is really cool. They need to keep up this pace and keep this action going, but it still has some embers of flame that we all know can captivate this audience and this anime and have it return to its glory. The floating coffin is super hard, and it's a cool idea because we already know Shigaraki's DK is OP. And we also got to remember that Shigaraki is still evolving. And then as we slide into episode 7, of course they slow down and they give us some fucking filler. I don't understand, but this is again the most filler than we need. We don't need to see it. We get a little deeper in this episode on the plans and we see how they go about catching all the villains and separate them. So let's go ahead and keep it brief. Toga ends up swapping and capturing Deku, so he's not part of Shigaraki's squad. When they're being thrown around in these empty voids, those two get switched. Once they're there, we hear out that something that we've known a long time, that Toga loves Deku. Yeah, she's crazy. Yeah, she's nuts, but still. We've seen it in the previous seasons, but it finally comes to fruition, and she actually says it. We then have a cheeky moment showing the two of them having a dialogue in the middle of a battle. Again, this isn't needed. Oh, and for a little wittiness and a little bit of awkwardness, we got Araka-chan and Froggy sitting there. This is completely useless, but it's silly, and it's part of the MHA lore, so that's what happens at the opening of episode 7. Along with this filler, we kind of get that back and forth where they're trying to fit in 2 stories into one episode. Being as they are going back to Shigaraki and we finally confirm that he's the strongest, we are finally on the cusp of seeing him recovered and his body at 100%. I would say right now he's probably in between 80 to 85, but he's definitely showing improvement. The cornerstone of this plan is to ensure that the mind and body of All For One and Shigaraki don't merge, because that's just bad. Really what we want is to keep those two separated, and we got to figure out that Shigaraki needs to be awakened. Better yet, if he's a vessel, One For All will be able to take over his body, have a youthful body with endless quirks. We also have to remember that he was involved in the evil hyperbolic time chamber while he was evolving. His body was essentially creating a new quirk that forever evolves. That means that he can do whatever he wants as long as he thinks about it. We also see another step in the evolution when he is in his air prison and he just starts knocking off heroes left and right. It seems that he's finally getting conscious and he's finally awakening to himself. Not the merge between him and One For All, but old Shigaraki, which is very bad because if he isn't a vessel and he can control his power, he can control his quirks, that is going to be bad for everyone, One For All included. They're leading up to some real big things, but you all know, if you've been following me, if you've been subbed, you know I don't like filler. My Hero Academia is too good of an anime to be hitting us with this filler, especially after 7 years. To top off, we finally get to see how smart One For All truly is. They talk about the historic battle against him versus All Might, and we got to see his quicks, his work, all of the genius that goes inside of him. Also, this is building up to Icy Hot versus Dabi, brother versus brother. It's going to be a great battle, and I'm looking forward to it. They need to keep their foot on the gas because there's too many good animes, and this is one of them. But they need to quit with the filler. They need to quit with the build-up, and they need to give us action. We've been waiting 7 years. We got My Villain Academia in Season 6, and it was amazing. They got to keep it going. But that's it. That's the review. Episode 6 and 7. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We have cleared 200, so much, much appreciated. See y'all in the next video. It's your boy DT Burdett. I'm out of here.